All right, let's just jump right in. If you're even thinking about buying a home sometime soon, you already know the market can feel, well, pretty intense. But what if you had a professional blueprint to navigate it all? That's exactly what we're going to break down today. A truly strategic guide for purchasing, negotiating, and most importantly, protecting your biggest investment.
And this right here, this is the core idea we need to start with. In a market that feels like a constant race, the winning strategy isn't about being the fastest. It's about being the most prepared. It's a complete mindset shift, and it's what gives you back control.
So, why is this preparation so incredibly critical right now? Well, because let's be real, the modern buyer is facing a pretty unique set of challenges, especially in a competitive market like we have here in Massachusetts. Now, what's really interesting here is how all these factors are connected. It's not just a list. It's like a chain reaction. You've got interest rates moving up and down, which immediately changes what you can afford. Then you've got super low inventory, just not enough homes for sale, which of course cranks up the competition between buyers. And all of that is happening against a backdrop of how people are feeling about the economy and what's happening in your specific town. It's a really complex puzzle.
So here's the bottom line. In a market that's defined by all these pressures, being prepared isn't just a nice to have. It's how you create leverage. It is your single greatest advantage when you're up against other buyers.
And this all leads us to a whole new way of thinking. We have to move away from that frantic, rushed feeling and embrace a new philosophy: strategy over speed. This is about being deliberate, not desperate.
So what do we actually mean by strategic buying? It's not just about finding a house you fall in love with. As you can see, it's a structured approach that recognizes you are buying a major financial asset. The whole goal is to protect that investment from day one. So how do we actually do this? How do we put this philosophy into practice? We use a system. And this is it, the strategic blueprint. It's a 4-phase system designed to take you from a typical buyer to a strategic one, guiding you step by step all the way to a secure closing.
And here it is. This is our roadmap. Each phase builds perfectly on the last one. We start with a strong foundation, then we move methodically through finding the right place, negotiating the right way, and finally protecting yourself. This structure is what takes the chaos out of the process.
Let's start with phase 1, because this is the foundation for everything else. And it starts before you even look at a single house online. Financial clarity. It's not just about getting a pre-approval. It's about positioning yourself to win.
Think of these points as your negotiating foundation. A strong pre-approval tells sellers you're serious and you're capable. Knowing your exact budget, your comfort zone, and exactly how much cash you'll need to close means you can move with absolute confidence and credibility when you find that house. This is where you build your power.
Okay, once your finances are rock solid, we can move to the fun part, phase 2. Now we can start looking at homes, but we're not just looking with our hearts, we're looking with our heads too. The goal here is to identify a smart investment, not just a good-looking house. We're picking a property based on value and its long-term potential. Phase 3. This is where all that preparation meets opportunity. You've found the right property, and now it's game time. It's time to craft an offer that is designed to win, but, and this is key, without taking on a bunch of unnecessary risk. This is where strategy becomes absolutely critical.
You know, it's so easy to think an offer is just about the price, but it's so much more than that. An offer is the story you tell the seller, and the price is just one chapter. How you structure your financing, your approach to inspections, and how flexible you can be with the closing date, all of that can make your offer way more attractive than a higher offer with weaker terms. Getting this right is a huge advantage. And finally, phase 4. Getting your offer accepted, that's a huge milestone, but it is not the finish line. Now our focus shifts completely to protecting your interests. We manage every single deadline and every detail to make sure you get to that closing table securely and without any last-minute drama.
Okay, so we've seen the 4 phases. Now let's zoom in on one of the most critical things that runs through all of them, the financial realities. Really understanding the difference between price, cost, and risk is where so much stress can just be eliminated from the get-go.
This is one of the most important distinctions any buyer can make. The list price, that's what the seller wants. The market value, that's what the data says the property is actually worth. A strategic buyer always bases their offer on the market value, not on the seller's emotional number. And the purchase price itself is really just the tip of the iceberg. Below the surface are all the total costs of the transaction. You've got your down payment, of course, but also inspection fees, appraisal fees, lender fees, title costs.
The list goes on. Knowing all of these numbers up front means no surprises, and you can be sure you have the cash you need to close with confidence.
And this is what the whole journey looks like from a bird's eye view. From that first strategy session all the way to getting the keys, it's a structured process that usually takes a couple of months. When you see it laid out like this, it feels so much more clear and manageable, doesn't it? It's not just chaos.
Now, a blueprint is fantastic, but actually executing it perfectly in a market that's moving a mile a minute, that requires some serious expertise and coordination. And this is where having a professional, systemized team on your side comes into play. You do not have to do this alone. And when we talk about expertise, a number like this, it isn't just about sales. It represents over $1 billion worth of real-world experience. Thousands of transactions, thousands of problems solved, and thousands of successful negotiations for buyers just like you. And all of that experience translates directly into support for you. It means you're plugging into a coordinated system that has proven processes for every single step, a dedicated coordinator managing all your deadlines, and professional negotiation support making sure your interests are protected at all times. And, this is especially true for first-time buyers. The whole point of this strategic process is to replace that fear and uncertainty that so many people feel with the confidence that can only come from true clarity.
So if you're ready to go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling empowered, the first step is really simple. It's just a conversation to build a plan. It's not a sales pitch. It's just an opportunity to get the clarity you need to make a really smart decision.
Ultimately, buying a home is going to be one of the biggest moves you ever make. So the final question you have to ask yourself is this: are you going to make it a frantic one, or are you going to make it a strategic one?